What's going on, guys? Brain again, and today I'm bringing you a brand new War Thunder video. And it's been a while since we've taken to the skies, so I decided to take out the F-86A-5 Sabre. And I don't believe I've ever taken out an American jet on my channel and recorded it, so let's go ahead and take a look for the first time at the F-86A-5 Sabre. Now, as a person who doesn't take out jets all that often, whenever I do get into a jet battle, especially at this tier, I become astonished at how competitive the dogfighting becomes on a map like Korea. Not often do I feel like my heart is just going to jump out of my chest because of an intense dogfight that I'm having on War Thunder. But in these jet battles, it always seems like that happens, especially in this match. Now, the reason why I am showing you guys this battle that I had in the skies over Korea is because in this game I was pretty spot on for utilizing the abilities of the F-86 Sabre going up against these MiGs. Now, when we're comparing the F-86 and the MiG-15 stat-wise, you've really got to understand what the characteristics of the MiG are. The MiG-15 excels in speed and rate of climb, but where the F-86 excels in is maneuverability. And in all honesty, I would rather take the firepower of the F-86 over the MiG-15s. The F-86 has 6 12.7 M3 Browning machine guns with 1,800 rounds of ammunition. This is in comparison to the MiG-15 with one 37mm cannon with 40 rounds of ammunition and one 23mm cannon with 160 rounds of ammunition. But when using the F-86, you have to make sure that you conserve your ammo. Don't let 1,800 rounds of ammunition fool you. It will go fast. And the funny thing is, you'll see that the ammunition actually comes back to bite me in the butt later on in this video, and the match ends in the way it does for that reason. Now, another part of this video that I really want you guys to focus on is the types of maneuvers I'm performing. Now, the one maneuver that I perform the most, and if you guys have ever watched any of my other videos, then you know that I perform the scissor maneuver a lot when it comes to aerial combat. And especially in the jet matches, I recommend that you use it. If you don't know how to perform the scissor maneuver, all it is just practice, practice, practice. And a very good example of the scissor maneuver is coming up right here. Notice how my speed is well exceeding that of the MiGs, and I end up overshooting them by a lot, actually. And this isn't the perfect scissor, but I end up countering his speed by throwing on my air brakes. Now, I would have thrown on the combat flaps, but notice how I'm missing one flap, and I end up using my air brakes as a form of a flap. And when you're performing the scissor, you want to make sure that you're just behind your opponent. That way you can try to get in a few shots when you cross, like I did right there. So just make sure that your speed is just a little bit less than his. But also be very wary of your airspeed. You don't want to lose your airspeed, allowing him to outturn you basically and get behind you. And a very good example of that is what happens right here. I end up getting really in front of him, so I go ahead and I counter by rolling over the top of him. And as you can see right there, that guy just overshot me, crashing in the ground. That's another reason why I pulled up, because a mountain was right there. And I was hoping he was going to overshoot. But I finally end up scissoring this guy out because he loses his airspeed by pulling up over that sharp mountain right there. And then I basically sealed his deal. He ends up losing his speed and ends up crashing. So that was a very good example of a scissor maneuver. I highly suggest that you guys learn it and practice it as much as possible in these games. And bear in mind, guys, I have been the last guy in this game for the past 25 minutes. So I'm doing everything that I can to slow the enemy down. And if that means attacking guys on the runway, then by God, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I end up finding two guys on the runway. I end up shooting down one of them right here. And this is where the ammo situation decides to come back and finally bite me in the butt. And bear in mind, when all of my allies died, it was a 6v1 situation. Now it's just a 2-on-1 situation. And by this time, my heart was pounding. I end up laying some shots into this guy, and I somehow managed to miss. I don't know how I did. I hit him, but it just wasn't a critical. It wasn't the critical hit that I was looking for. So I have time for one more pass. My hands are shaking. And this is where the ammo situation starts coming back and haunting me. I'm chasing this guy down, and I decided to pop off a few rounds, and I didn't realize how low my ammo was, and I really need you guys to pay attention to that. And right here, I run out of ammo. He's criticaled, but it's not enough to bring him down. So I make the hard decision to hightail it back to base and get as much ground between this guy and myself as possible. There's still an IL-28 lurking out there, so I don't really consider this a 2-on-1 situation, more of a 1v1. The IL-28 wouldn't be that hard to shoot down. I know it has the back gunners and the frontal cannons, but it's just really not that hard to shoot down. So considering this a 1v1, I'm hightailing it back to base. I'm all rearmed and I'm ready to go. I end up finding this guy up in the skies, and I want you guys to pay close attention to this dogfight. I make a very fatal mistake. I try to force this guy into a scissor maneuver, but he's really smart. He just surpasses me and uses his airspeed to get away from me, as well as rate of climb. And that rate of climb is going to be a key factor in this dogfight, and the guy is utilizing it perfectly. He's taking his time to get away from me, acquire his airspeed, and acquire his on-height advantage above me, which he's perfectly doing, I might add. This guy is a really, really good pilot in this game. And he ends up climbing up. Now, I thought I would get him here in the climb, and I would come up and maybe hit him. I was thinking that he's going to try to hammerhead me and try to fall back on top of me, which what he was kind of doing. And right here, he had a massive advantage. I can't believe he didn't utilize that advantage right here, but he somehow manages to miss me. I get a few hits in, no worries. I'm rolling back over. I now have a little bit of altitude advantage on him, but remember, he does have that rate of climb now, and he does have that speed. And also that IL-28 decides to show its ugly face right here. I don't know where it comes from. It doesn't engage, so I guess he was trying to go back to the runway and rearm, so I didn't worry about him whatsoever. Now, as you can see, this MiG again is running away from me and acquiring his airspeed and his on-height advantage above me. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit right here. But he's using the same type of tactic, the same type of attack style on me, and I can't believe I didn't catch it before. But again, I'm going to try one more time to force him into a scissor maneuver, and he just doesn't fall for it. We end up almost clipping right here. We got really close to smashing into each other. But again, he just used that climb to get above me. And I can't believe I did this, but I completely killed my airspeed. I was getting tired of waiting around. I became impatient, and I tried to chase him, which was the wrong thing to do. Now, in an attempt to get more airspeed, I decided to turn left right here and gain more speed, but I'm going to tell you guys what you should do if you're in this situation. The MiG's got that high of an advantage on you. Just put your plane into a dive and try to drag him down lower. Then when you drag him down low, try to force him into a scissor or just try to outmaneuver him. And my mistake right here was I was going to try to force him into a maneuver that I could counter him with, but I end up turning way too early. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought that he had a higher rate of speed, and he ends up pilot sniping me. Believe it or not, he does no other damage to my plane, but ends up pilot sniping me. So again, guys, if you have a MiG that high above you, just try to drag him down low or something along those lines so you can counter his maneuvers. That would probably be your best bet and the most effective way to counter the MiG. But anyway, guys, I think that pretty much sums up this video. I'm just throwing this clip in here as a little extra bonus. I really enjoyed this maneuver that I did. I don't know why. It just felt really amazing to me. But again, guys, I think that pretty much sums up this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you want to see me do a plane video such as this one, then I would be more than happy to oblige. Just tell me down below in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name's Brandon, and as always, have a nice day.